to be whole in somebody else's world rather than being whole in yourself. What you call it?
I call that bitch dependency.
Okay, dang. I wouldn't call it. I mean,
no, but that's some real shit. Look, in the Boondocks, look.
Not quote the Boondocks. You know it's about to be some shit.
It was a pimp named Slipback.
Bruh.
And the nigga broke down bitch dependency.
I'm crying. And that's a
real fucking thing in society that our culture suffers from. Hence why we go so much outside of ourselves to fill a false void that we feel like it's a void that's not a void. We feel like it's a sense of emptiness that's not even there. We create that.
It's all in the mind.
It's all in the mind.
So you said if you could have one, actually not finish what you was about to say, my bad.
It's a false void. As in the sense that you try to feel maybe it's a energetic transaction. Like, all right, I just gotta be around somebody. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be heard. I gotta be understood. Or I just want to get around somebody to understand them.
Right.
It's always what could I do for others versus what could I do for myself. And that's the suffrage of bitch dependency. Is that you always overextending yourself versus going within. And actually fixing within and actually understanding that you have a battery yourself. You have a social battery, a physical battery, a soul battery.
Right.
And if you always exerting that battery and get none in return,
you get drained.
And then what do you have left?
No energy. Nothing to give. Empty cup. What can you pour?
Exactly. You have none to give.
Decisions.
And that's what gets us.
Also, you said, to go back to what you said about overextending. What about underextending? Because that could be something too. Because
this is what you got to understand.
It got to be a balance.
This is what you got to understand with underextending. When you underextend, that's all right. Take it from the perspective of the person that's overextending. The person that's overextending, they have to overextend because that vessel that they're investing in is broken. As in, there's a leak in that vessel. So they continuously have to invest because they feel like it's never getting full because it's broken. So there's always a piece of those fluids that you invested in them that's just continuously flowing out. So in order to fix that, you have to take a piece of yourself, which is the clay. You have to take a piece of yourself off and implant it onto them, as in to fix somebody. So in order to fix somebody, you got to take a piece of yourself off and actually fix that. So once you continuously actually going around and fixing somebody, actually Mr. Save-A-Ho,
not Mr.
You know what I'm saying? Captain Save-A-Ho, that's where, and excuse the French, but that's where it boils down to the sense of you start to lose yourself.
Excuse the French, I ain't no hoe. None taken.
No, exactly. You ain't the hoe. Yeah, but
somebody is a hoe. Let me stop. No, we call things of that nature.
Nah, be for real though. But like once you actually invest into somebody, you're actually taking pieces of yourself.
That's true.
And that's why you got to be very cautious on who you're investing in, because you can look up
investments. We talked about it. Investments is so important,
and an investment is even
I said that if people treated people like investments, then maybe you would not be so bankrupt in life. Because if you really looked at people like they was investments, you wouldn't be so bankrupt. Because you betting on people. You got to think about that, like you betting on people. But I was saying, when you talk, to go back, you said that's bitch dependency to overextend. So when you underextend, what would you call that? No, just the phrase.
Underextending,
like, what would you call that one?
When you're broken, I'm gonna break it down to you.
Oh, okay, my bad. See, we listen. Don't judge.
Look, all right. Once you expect a high sense of an abundance, that's because internally you're broken, and all the things that's poured within you is always going to leak out, because it's a crack in you. You're broken in a sense. So all of those things that's being poured in you is going to be slowly leaking out. So you're going to always feel empty. And and you're never gonna be fulfilled.
Right.
So you're never gonna be satisfied, even if you got the nicest things. You're never gonna be satisfied. So it takes a sense of healing, of fixing that aspect within yourself that's broken, and nobody can answer that but yourself. Because
nigga, I said, what would you call that? If you call that bitch dependency, I was thinking you was gonna name that symptom like a leaker or some shit.
Oh, I call that a selfish, narcissistical asshole.
Oh damn. Okay. All right. You got a lot of little.
Yeah, but nah. But at the same
names.
time, you're just selfish. You know what I'm saying? And that's what that type of person is. They're just selfish.
It's true.
They're
but you know what I look at that as? Like, in a nutshell, that's basically I attract, I don't chase, is what I'm trying to say. I attract, I do not chase. Everything that is for me is already making its way to me because I'm whole within my circumstances. I'm whole within my surroundings and myself. So it's just like, I get what you're saying. When you spend some time alone with yourself, when you're able to really understand yourself, overstand yourself, and understand yourself, like you able to look at all aspects and attract all aspects because you're one within yourself. You're one with the Most High. So when you have all these things that has your focus and it's no distractions such as people or things in this world that really be propaganda that y'all still be falling for, but we all learning. It's okay. It's like you're not able to be distracted by those outside sources. You only focusing on the source in yourself.
And you know what that source is?
And you attract that.
See, one of the biggest things about what you said is you got to focus on the source that's within yourself. A lot of religion teaches that the source is without. The source is a entity that you specifically pray to that's without. Allah is the all spiritual consciousness of all. The spiritual consciousness.
It is a consciousness.
But the spiritual consciousness, which is a whole entity in all, but there's different densities to that whole consciousness. But it depends on the plants, the animals, and the humans. We are the highest density of the spiritual creator's consciousness because the spiritual creator consciousness is living through all of us. It's living through plants, animals, us. But the spiritual creator is living through all of us. That's why the Egyptians and the Native Americans, the real indigenous Native Americans, they all praised, and the Incas, they all praised all animals and all forms of life. Like if you look at the Egyptians, the human figures will have heads of different animals. The Native Americans had totem poles of heads of different animals, which means they praised different animals in the same sense as they were praising the sense and the acknowledgement that our God and our godly creation and our spiritual creator, it was within all forms of life. That was the whole premises on what they were trying to prove in praising all forms of life and making all different forms of life deities, because they were acknowledging that God is within all forms of life,
even plants,
especially plants, because that